Well, I'm back at the movies again to see Transformers 1, the latest Transformers movie, and Transformers is one of my favorite franchises, so I'm excited to see how it measures up. I'm seeing it at the Cinemark Egyptian movie theater, this heavily themed Egyptian cinema where it looks like you're walking into a pyramid when you're going to the movies. It's a lot of fun. Now, if you are a Transformers fan like me, you know that sometimes the Transformers movies can be kind of hit or miss. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this one's a hit or a miss. I'll have the review coming up for you shortly, but first we'll start with some merch search looking for Transformers merchandise. Now, Regal Theaters had some posted on their website, as you can see here, just limited to cups, t-shirts, and a popcorn bucket. Now here was the Transformers 1 display I found at a Target. And these are Prime Changers. These are the mainline, just transforming action figures based on the movie Transformers 1. You can see they have Bumblebee available, Optimus Prime, Alpha Trion, and Sentinel Prime. Did not see Megatron or Elita 1 there, though. And this is the aisle where all the regular Transformers toys are located, and some of the Transformers 1 toys were mixed in there. Also show off a few non-Transformers 1 toys as well. This is a more of a gimmicky one, so that's the more gimmicky ones are meant for the little ones. The first one was a launching one. It launched a Minicon. This is Robot Battlers. They still transform, but the idea is to knock them off a platform. And these are one-step changers. Again, this is meant for little ones because of the more simpler transformation. They transform, but they transform just in one step. As you can see, they had a variety of characters available as the one-step changer. So here's more of those robot battlers, which again is meant to knock it's like, like Rock'em Sock'em robots. You're supposed to knock it off a platform. And here's a voice changer, Optimus Prime voice changer. And some of the other Transformers lines did get mixed in, and the end cap where the Transformers 1 toys appeared as well. I'm not going to cover all of those, but I will highlight a few of them that stuck out to me. Like this one here. This is from the Legacy Evolution line. This is Blitzwing, Generation 1 style Decepticon triple changer, Blitzwing. And here's a set of tiny figurines in the Generation 1 style. And here is a Studio Series Sideswipe from the War for Cybertron movies. And here's more Legacy Evolution. These are the core class. These are smaller ones, but again done in the Generation 1 style, which I really like. But I like the size of these ones. They're like 4 inches, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. But they've been doing a really good job of getting a good likeness to the Generation 1 animation models on that. Here's the Studio Series 2-pack of the battle-damaged Brawn and Ratchet, and a Studio Series Springer. These are referencing the '86 animated movie. And here is a RC Optimus Prime, an auto-converting, just automatic transforming Optimus Prime. And this is the Lego Optimus Prime, which you can build yourself. It still transforms. Now, that's the only Lego Transformers I saw at Target, but I saw the Lego Bumblebee at the Lego store. And there's a few of him in his alt mode. At a Hot Topic, I found this 2-pack of Funko Pops, Megatron and Optimus. Then I thought I'd check out Toys R Us. If you didn't know, Toys R Us is back. You can typically find them inside Macy's now. And here was the Transformers 1 display at the Toys R Us inside the Macy's. You can see there's some of the same ones, Robot Battlers here, that we saw before. Here we have some transforming masks. So they're an action figure and a mask for kids to wear. That was different. And this was a very large automatic flipping, transforming Optimus Prime. So, as you can see here, this is limited articulation, so I think that was, again, meant for the little ones. Oh, here's another Robot Battler. This is the first time I saw the Elita 1. But most of the merch I found was aimed at more at the kids. The collectors have a big interest in Transformers as well, so I thought I'd show you some of what they might be interested in, and I went to the Hasbro Pulse website for that. On this page, you can see the Deluxe Class Optimus Prime from Transformers 1. And here's the Leader Class version here on this page. Here's the Studio Series Deluxe Megatron, and Studio Series Deluxe Elita 1 and Bumblebee. And a Studio Series Deluxe Sentinel Prime as well. Now these are MDLX figures, Elita 1 and Megatron. These are highly detailed but not transforming. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee as well. And here you see the Legacy United Voyager class Fractured Friendship 2-pack. Not Transformers 1 related, but clearly inspired by it. That about does it for the merch search. I found mostly toys, but it is a franchise based on a toy line to begin with, so that is kind of what you would expect. Commander, transform and commence the review. Okay then, I'll just take a moment to get out of my alt mode. And now, on with the show. Transformers 1 is an animated reboot of the Transformers franchise that takes the story back to the Transformers' home planet Cybertron before the war began. For those new to the franchise, Transformers stories are usually tales of an epic war for control of the planet Cybertron, with the Autobots, who value freedom and honor on one side, and on the other side, the Decepticons, who value only strength and the willingness to use that strength to bend others to your will. As Transformers 1 begins, there are no Autobots or Decepticons. All Transformers are united under their beloved leader, Sentinel Prime. We are introduced to Orion Pax, who will one day be known as Optimus Prime, and his best friend D-16, who will later be known as Megatron. Both bots are without transformation cogs. Thus, they lack the ability to transform. In Cybertronian society, bots that can't transform are seen as having limited potential and are assigned only manual labor jobs. Orion Pax and D-16 are both miners, making their living digging up Energon, the fuel that powers Cybertron and all the Transformers. While the job isn't glamorous, it is vital to everyone on the planet. D-16 is content with his lot in life and has no desire to rock the boat, but the more adventurous Orion Pax believes that bots without a transformation cog can do more than just manual labor. So he drags D-16 into a scheme to prove that minor bots are just as capable as any bot that can transform. When the scheme goes awry, they find themselves on the run, befriending waste reclamation bot B-127, who will later be known as Bumblebee. He couldn't be happier to leave this lonely sub-basement of Cybertron behind. Together with Orion Pax and D-16, they hop aboard a train heading toward the planet's surface, but soon are caught by their supervisor, Elita 1. She agrees to work with them when the train crashes and they become stranded together on the surface. There they learn of a conspiracy to keep the true story of their planet's history hidden from the citizens of Cybertron. This revelation shatters the worldviews of both Orion Pax and D-16, but while Orion Pax decides to dedicate himself to returning to his home city of Iacon, exposing the truth, and then trusting his fellow Transformers to do the right thing, D-16 instead allows his anger to overwhelm him, setting him on a path of violence and revenge. There is a lot to praise about this movie, but I do have one major criticism, so I'll address that first. I found that the humor in the movie just doesn't work for me. The first half of the movie plays out like a buddy comedy about two best friends whose mismatched personalities clash as one drags the other into his crazy schemes and hijinks. This means that until the plot starts to get serious, it's the movie's humor that's in the forefront of the storytelling. Fortunately, however, once the plot of the movie takes off, the humor starts to take a back seat, with only occasional comedy beats after that, usually from B-127, since he seems to be the designated comic relief character for the more serious second half of the movie. Humor aside, the storytelling is dynamic and engaging. The story isn't really about how the war between the Autobots and Decepticons began, but rather about how the ideologies of the Autobots and Decepticons began to divide. The movie does this by examining how the friendship between the two iconic leaders broke down. The inner turmoil really comes through in the acting, especially with Megatron, who was given the meatiest acting scenes. The story believably shows how both ideologies solidified in reaction to discovering that there is a certain corruption to their world. Optimus reacted to this by embracing the noble principles of freedom, honor, truth, and justice, trusting that the power of these principles would win out against corruption in the end. But Megatron, accepting that corruption is just how the world works, concluded that the only way to keep others from pushing you around is to be strong enough to push them around instead, giving rise to the Decepticons' might makes right philosophy. When the movie introduced an underclass of cogless bots, I suspected that the reboot would be reimagining the story of the Transformers as a class conflict instead of an ideological one, and that Megatron would be recontextualized as more of a Magneto-like figure, doing bad things but in the name of the greater good of a persecuted group. I was pleasantly surprised when the story didn't go in that direction, instead resolving the class conflict and crafting a tale that believably sent a seemingly reasonable bot like D-16 down the path to becoming the tyrant we remember as Megatron. The art and animation of the movie is impressive. It's colorful, fluid, and expressive. Cybertron is given a new look. It's still mostly metal, but it's now envisioned as incorporating some organic elements too, allowing for the planet to have a diverse canvas of beautiful, semi-natural environments. But since it's a Transformer planet, the environments are all in a state of flux, always changing and remaking the mountains, valleys, and rivers on the surface as well as the roads and buildings in the underground city of Iacon. Action scenes are equally impressive, with characters making rapid changes in and out of their alt modes and revealing new weapons and shields on the fly. All this makes the movie a dynamic and imaginative visual experience. I thought the score was good too, having a vaguely Tron-like sound, which was a good fit for Transformers. And the voices all seem to fit the characters well, despite being big-named actors instead of the iconic voice actors usually associated with these roles. I thought Starscream was particularly well cast, with Steve Buscemi being a natural for that role. I definitely recommend this movie for Transformers fans. It's what the fans have been asking for, a return to the franchise's roots that respects the source material and focuses only on the Transformers, not a human in sight. Just be prepared to sit through some bad comedy, as Galvatron would put it. I also recommend it for those that are new to the franchise. Since it is a reboot starting the story over from the beginning, it's a good jumping on point. Unless you just can't get past the humor, I think if you have any interest at all in the concept of a planet full of giant, sentient, transforming robots, you'll find something to enjoy here. Till all are one!